So I graduated from Brooklyn College in 2015. I'm trying to remember when I graduated. And Joshua gave me the best advice. He told me, graduate Brooklyn College. Because at one time, I didn't know if I wanted to stay and do research. I was just doing my classes, but I had 3 classes with Joshua my very first semester. He was my first professor at Brooklyn. Also Matt Garb, who, perfect, 2 of the best professors I had my first semester. So it worked out really well. Joshua actually helped me get the EPA internship. I was an intern at the EPA in 2012. My very first semester at Brooklyn College, I didn't know, the professors didn't know me very well. So I asked Joshua, hey, is it possible you can give me a letter saying that I'm one of your students? And he said yes. And that's all EPA wanted. So thank you, Joshua. Without that letter, I would not be at EPA today. So again, I would always go to Joshua's class. His office is open, and I would go to him and complain all my problems. So he told me, leave the school. The goal is to get a job. And he said, wherever you get a job, that's where you take it. Don't just think you have to stay in New York. My family lives here, and I don't want to leave. I've only lived in New York City. So he said, just apply anywhere and see what happens. And Joshua knew I did my EPA internship. He said, reach out to those EPA guys you worked with. He said, Joshua knew some of those guys before, and he said, they thought you did a great job. Ask them if there were any positions available. And my last class was in the fall of 2014. EPA started posting positions in February. So the guys already knew I was looking for a job, so they started sending me available positions. So I didn't officially graduate. I didn't even do the commencement ceremony or anything. The day I graduated from Brooklyn College, I got a call saying I had to come in and do my EPA physical. So they had already offered me the position. So EPA is the first job I got after graduating. I've been there for 7 years now, a little over 7 years. It's all been super positive. Folks are really helpful in any sort of government agencies, city agencies. And the trick is like getting someone to know you there. So I had 3 people that I work with, they were listed as references. And if someone knows you, you have a better chance of getting the position. And I didn't even care what job I got at EPA. I did a bunch of different interviews that entire week. I was probably in the agency 4 days with these 6-panel people interviewing me. And I was just my normal self. I wasn't trying to impress anyone. So as you get, I was making jokes, all sorts of crazy stuff. When I look back now, I'm like, did I even say that? They probably think I'm crazy. But they offered me the position because I think they just wanted someone they thought that could work with them. And I'm not doing anything that I did at Brooklyn College. I'm currently an enforcement officer, so I enforce the Clean Water Act permits for municipalities. And I didn't do this at Brooklyn College. So I think if you have a science background, and Brooklyn College, the professors you have here, it's an excellent foundation you have. And I've always kept in contact with some of my professors. I mean, I'm friends with Joshua on Facebook. And Joshua had 5 students he had, were all at the EPA. And Joshua was listed as my reference also. So I'm like, Joshua, could I list you? He said, fine. So, our professors at Brooklyn College, they know what's out there. I sent my resumes for professors to review, ask for references. Your classes definitely count a lot. And you have to find good ways of putting it on resume. So the classes that I did research, I put that I was a research assistant. And if you collaborate, some of you guys, National Park Services, the DEC, DEP, Newton Creek Wastewater Treatment Plant, you put it on your resume. Pure luck, I did, and I'll sit down, I'm probably talking too much. I did a green roof project with Joshua, and that was listed as on my resume. Collaboration between Brooklyn College and DEP. And if I wasn't at the EPA, the DEP had also offered me a position. And I remember at that interview, someone asked me, who did you work with the DEP? And I said, oh, I don't know, my professor knows. He knows who I worked with. I was just on the green roof. And also at the EPA, I didn't know my boss. They also visited at green roof. So, you just put what you do at Brooklyn College on your resume. You don't even know that the person who is interviewing you, they probably visited it. Also, if I didn't get those positions, the Mayor's Office of Environmental Remediation, they had offered me an internship because they told me they tend to hire from the interns. And again, just be yourself at interviews. Don't try to impress anyone because you don't know who is interviewing you. I did, again, a class with Joshua, phase 1 and phase 2 environmental assessment, just doing work on the computer. I'm not out in the real world. And one of the guys interviewing me, he asked me what was the class about. So I said, well, Columbia University is just like an online class. Luckily, I didn't say anything stupid or try to impress the guy because he has his Ph.D. in the same field. So I was just, just be honest. Don't try to impress because luckily the guy didn't follow up and ask me anything because I didn't know anything. But you just want to be yourself. Don't try to impress anyone because you don't want to act as though you're someone else and they think you're someone else and then you get hired and it's a job setting or environment that you're not comfortable with. So I mean, for me, it's absolutely perfect. My boss, I get along excellent with him. It's just, it's all but positive. And EPA always has positions available, internships. I always send it for Joshua and in LinkedIn also. So if 5 of us recent graduates could be at EPA, you guys can also, because we all have the same classes. Yeah, and EPA doesn't care if you have a bachelor's degree, master's degree. They would pay for you to do your master's degree. If you get in, they would pay for you to do your PhD. We don't have any exam to do to get into the EPA. The DEC is kind of more tricky to get in. EPA, once you're in, you're in. It's very difficult to fire a federal employee. The joke is if you kill someone, then they would fire you. But the trick is getting in. Once you get in, even if it's not the perfect job, you can move in after. Like I'm in enforcement. If I don't like enforcement, I could do more geology stuff. But the goal is getting into the agency and then you can move around. And there are 10 EPA agencies. So if you decide you don't want to stay in New York, we have a Brooklyn College alumni. She graduated years before I did. She's in Superfund. She was a geologist for Superfund, and then she decided to move to California. So now she's a project manager, managing big Superfund sites. So, I mean, you guys getting excellent education at Brooklyn College. So definitely take advantage of it. We don't have a crazy expensive tuition. I mean, I thought my CUNY tuition was, it's expensive for us while we're in school, but it's not like Columbia University. I have friends, they graduated $100,000 in student loans, and I had none. So, and it's the same salary that we're getting. The only difference, I have no student loans, and they do, yeah. And I brought business cards also, so if anyone wants, you guys can hit me up anytime, yeah, fine, yeah.